Something eating on a bigger bait here. That's what we're looking for. All right, guys, so here's the plan. I rolled up on what they call Walker's Reef out here. It's a bunch of reef balls that are scattered over, I don't know, probably a mile or so, but they're not like in a big pile. You have to know where they're at and you have to find them. I've marked them out here before. It's one place where structure scan comes in handy, size scan, because you can see these things, put a waypoint on them and mark them. I got a little cluster of them here, and there's looks like some fish around it. Got anchored up where I'm near them, and just putting out some bigger baits around here for on some floats. See if we can hook into a shark. Hopefully there's some up in here. Water's salty. I stuck my finger in it. That's kind of the rule of thumb. If you ever want to know if sharks are in the waters that you're swimming in, stick your finger in the water. If it tastes salty, it's got sharks. So we'll just see what's up in here feeding. Got some under some floats. I'm gonna mess with some small fish. We're gonna see if we can stick one. All right, guys, I'll show you my shark rig set up. It's a Penn 8000 series Battle 2 reel. The line that's on top here that you see, it's a 120-pound monofilament wind-on leader. And what happens is this, I'm gonna pull it off of here. It attaches to your main line, to your braid, without any kind of, use a double loopy knot thing there. It attaches to your braid so that you can wind it on through your guides. You don't need a roller tip rod to do this. I've got a big roller tip, which is great, but these are a little easier to use. Just a Mariner, Penn Mariner 2 boat rod, fairly short. It's only 6 feet tall, so it's not a super huge rod. And I'm just free lining these baits out there. It's crimped from the wind-on leader onto a big swivel. Then I got some 130-pound wire, single strand, with a haywire twist at the end. I've just got a hooker's terminal tackle circle hook on the end of it. So putting it out, I've got one of Patriot James bobbers. Patriot James makes these catfishing bobbers. They're illuminated. We're gonna see if they hold up the salt water. They're cool bobbers. And what I do is use one of these sinker slides, easy sinker slide from Rig Wrap. I put this onto this 120-pound. It'll slide on that, guys. That's 120-pound mono, and it'll slide. And I've got a slip knot on there, and I've only got this thing about 6 feet below the surface. We're gonna let it float around out there. What happens on this slip knot, in case you hadn't seen it, what it is, it's just a uni knot. If you've watched any of my knot tying videos, or any of my videos, it's the biggest video I got. It's that little knot right there. It's a slip knot, and you can basically tie a uni knot on there. And this comes up to it, and when this hits it, it stops it. So I've got it set. You can see the depth of it. It's about head high on me. I'm about 6 feet tall. That's where it's gonna stop it. We're gonna chunk it out there, and we're gonna see if the big man eats it. All right, guys, y'all seen me do a video on these things before, chum pods. They're basically, they look like little Tide pods, but they're fish food. I'm gonna drop some in the water here and see what makes a difference. These things dissolve once they get in the water. So we'll chuck them in the water. Woo. They should dissolve right here around the boat, hopefully. Chunk. I don't know how many you're supposed to use, but yep, it's starting to drop food down. I'm gonna throw it a little bit upstream of where I'm at. Oh yeah, there they go. They're dissolving stuff out. That's pretty cool. We'll give that a minute. Let that stuff dissolve, sink to the bottom. It's basically like little pellets. And just sinks to the bottom. My suggestion is, if you're gonna use them, I just learned, and you're in any kind of current, do it upstream where you're at. You need to chunk them upstream. We ain't got a lot of current in here, but it is moving a little bit. See if that makes a difference in getting these fish to bite or not. Drop it down. Get, boom, stuck that one right away. It hit the bottom and was, oh, that is a strong one. Apparently it brought something in. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Bada bing. Well, this sucker liked it. The one thing about being parked out here in the middle of the bay is bay traffic's not super bad. Most of the people are running the channel markers over there. So they kind of stay away from you over here. Got a little boat wake, but it's not like they're parked all over on top of you. Boom, got it. Got him. Got him. Bringing him in. There's another one coming in behind him. That was funny. He seen that other chunk of bait probably and said, I want to eat some of that. I want to eat some of that. Goodness. Well, like I said, guys, I don't know what those fish are. By the time this video's up, I'll have a little title, ding, 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 across the bottom of the screen telling you what they are. But I like catching them. They're fun. They pass the time. The other thing is, it does seem sometimes like when there's activity, it sparks other fish to feed, to come in to see what's going on. That's true in freshwater, and it's definitely true in saltwater. So getting out here, seeing these fish, marking them, catching them, stirring some stuff up, get some stuff swimming through the water column, get some activity. You do it, it may bring in some fish. It definitely doesn't hurt. Feeding fish spark feeding fish, even when feeding fish or when fish ain't hungry. So that's kind of the plan here on what's going on with catching these things. They're fun. These reefs are marked. They're on the Navionics chart, and you can also pick up paper charts that show where these public ones are. This is just basically a way they create a live bottom out here where there's some life and some activity. You know, a lot of these bottoms out here, if you could look at them, it's nothing but sand and nothing, and there's no reason for fish to be there. And these artificial man-made reefs create a place for little stuff to congregate. Little stuff brings bigger stuff, and bigger stuff brings big stuff. So that's kind of the plan. Even up in a bay like this, it's a big bay, you know, you can get some good fish. So we'll hang around, fish it a little longer, see what happens. We got something eating on a bigger bait here. That's what we're looking for. That's better. That's what we're looking for. It's a good fish, whatever it is. It's a better fish. Better fish. Probably a shark. Just judging from the run. That's a good one. That was one of the... I'm not sure if that was a cut bait or a live bait, to tell the truth. I'll have to go back and look at the video. It's a good one. Making circles like a tiger shark. I don't think it is. All right, guys, I'm going to pick up the narration on what's going on here because I lost my camera that has my mic on it, so there's not any really good audio. But what was happening here was this shark was taking me around the boat. I was basically going in circles. Tiger sharks do this a lot. When I've hooked into some of these medium-sized tiger sharks, they tend to get on a circle around the boat, and you just have to winch them in almost like a pinwheel, slowly, slowly, slowly. And that's what I was doing. I knew this wasn't a tiger shark, especially where I was fishing at up in the bay. But it was a battle, to say the least. All right, guys, at this point, I'm getting some crap out of the way here so we can deal with landing this fish. Good fish. Good fish. Got way too much gear strewn about the boat. Now this day I was out there alone, and I wasn't going to bring this fish in the boat. The plan was to get it up to the side, get a hook release on it, especially once I saw how big it is. It's kind of deceiving, these camera shots with the wide angles on the GoPro. When they are really, really close, they look bigger than they are, and when they're pretty far away, they look smaller than they are. This was about a 5-foot shark, which is not huge, but wrangling it by yourself is manageable. But if something goes wrong, it's nice to have another person on the boat, and I wasn't willing to bring this sucker in alone. So my plan was just to get him up to the side of the boat and get the hook out and get a good picture. Good black tip. Is he a black tip? Well, as you can see, one of Patriot James' bobbers is on the line. It slid up on the line, and that's what was suspended in the bait. It worked. The bobbers worked great the way I had them configured on the line with the easy sinker slide little coupler, and then a clip off of a planer board is what I held it in place with. Only had it about 6 feet underwater, and man, that bobber, when that shark hit it, it went a skating and it was hooked up. So great way to suspend the baits. They work great, and that was a pretty decent sized piece of bait on there. So these things will float a very large bait up off of the bottom. It's amazing you can put this much pressure on these fish for this long. They still want to swim off. Good fish. Good fish. Now, overall, our shark fishing down on this trip was not good. This was the only shark we caught that week. We actually had a couple of days where we got offshore, got out into the ocean, were able to fish some of the reefs. We had chum, we had big baits, we had great bait. We couldn't bring any in. Don't know what was up. We saw a few that came in, some really small ones in a slick, but it was not good shark fishing, so I was happy to get this one. It's the one we're looking for. Well, there it is. Got it up to the side of the boat. A little bit big to wrangle and get the hook out of by myself, so I decided to take the bolt cutters to it, pop that hook, cut it so it would slide out of there, and send him on his way. Get the wave stop here. Boom. Released. All right, guys, there it is. That's the fish we've been looking for. That is the biggest, strongest fish. I don't know what it weighed because I wasn't bringing it in the boat, especially alone. But definitely looked like... I got to get back and look at the video to see what it was. First, I thought it may be a black tip. It may be a black nose. I got to get a good look at it. I kind of didn't pay it too much attention when I was bringing it in. Was it a spinner shark? And I'm thinking it may have been either a black tip or black nose, but I'll go back and look at the footage on it. Fun fish. That's what we're looking for out here. It gave me a workout. It's amazing how much strength those fish have and how hard they can pull on that drag, and how long they can do it for, how long they can keep doing it. And but you just have to put the pressure on them. I've got the rods to do it, especially on that size fish, and a lot bigger fish, twice that size. So it's just a matter of letting them wear themselves down before you wear yourself down. I'll tell you this, being a freshwater fisherman primarily, you come to saltwater, you hook into a fish and you're like, well, I'm gonna whoop his butt real quick like you do with freshwater fish. And saltwater fish got a little more shoulders to them. They're used to a little tougher survival survival world out here trying to stay alive. And so yeah, they're amazing with the strength they got. But again, that's the one we're looking for. It was kind of cool. Makes you wonder if some of the other action going on out here had anything to do with sparking that bite, bringing in some fish, because it was in the middle of catching these other fish. I don't know. You know, did the chum pod help? I don't know. I know this. We caught some fish when we started using that chum pod. They were on sonar, but we were definitely catching them. And it wasn't shortly after that that fish came in, the sharks. I don't know. Does it play a part? I don't know. I know this. I'm going to try it again. We put several of those things in the water, and definitely seemed to help with the fish that were under the boat. So it is what it is. It didn't run anything off. That I can say. So we'll give it a shot again. But appreciate y'all coming along. We'll have to do it again. Well, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Here are a couple more videos that I think you're gonna like. I'd watch that one and then that one. No, do that one first and then that one. I don't know, just watch them both. They're both good.